Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to, yeah, I know, another Guinness video. But this Guinness video serves a slightly different purpose to the previous. In one of my previous Guinness videos, I compared this brand new Guinness Draft NitroSurge can with the new NitroSurge device pour to that of the standard draft can to determine how much better the NitroSurge is. If you want to see that, click up there and you can go watch it. But this video is more specifically about just comparing the very latest incarnation of Guinness, the Draft NitroSurge, and the most original variant, Guinness Original. So this is simply a test to see what the differences are between the two, which one I prefer, and to be honest, it's been that long since I've had a Guinness Original, I just don't remember what it's really like, so it will be an experience for me as well. So then, let's get on with it. I do have I guess what is now the traditional Guinness glass for the Draft NitroSurge version, and speaking of traditional, I traditionally have a dog hair somewhere upon my person or glassware, there it is. But also, speaking of traditional, I also have this. A Guinness tankard, which, as you would probably imagine, is intended for the Guinness Original, so that will be going in there. As always with these things, I would like them to be poured approximately at the same time, so what we're going to do is set up the NitroSurge, do the first part of the two-part pour, then we're going to pour the Guinness Original, and I don't know how to pour that one, to be honest. I say it's been that long since I had one, I can't really remember what it's like, but it's pretty standard. It's not a nitrogen flush can as far as I'm aware, so it'll just be a regular beer pour, and then we'll come back for the second part of the NitroSurge pour. So let's get on with it, shall we? Lucky tap. Carefully grab the NitroSurge device. Let's do it. We'll let that settle there for a moment, and now on to the Guinness Original. It does sound this dark and lively, so let's find out how lively this stuff is. And now to finish the NitroSurge. Okay, both pints have settled down, and I mean, let's be honest, that NitroSurge pint just looks the business. I don't know if you can tell, but the dome on that is absolutely spot on. And something inside me, just the creaminess, the appearance of this, I just want to drink this, and I'm a little bit uninterested in the original right now, but that's not what this is all about. Visually, you have to say it is a win to the NitroSurge Draft, but what I'm more interested in right now is what is this original actually like, because I've never, well, I have had it, but not in a very long time. So, the aroma on this, well, actually, first up, the visual. I was going to say, as I was pouring, I actually thought it was a darker beer, but I mean, they both look jet black, right? But Guinness does have a little bit of light bleed through towards the bottom of the glass normally. And actually, as I was stood here, they're pretty much the same. There's a light reddy brown hue coming through from the bottom. The head has just gone, frankly. There's not a lot to talk about there. But aroma-wise, it's funny. It smells like Guinness, but there's just a little bit more punch to it. It's got some nice caramel roastiness, a few red berry notes, and other than that, it just smells like a bit of old school ale, if I'm honest. So let's give it a sip, shall we? Cheers. Okay. It's a bit more carbonated. It's not heavily, but there is a bit. It's a harsher drink. It's a bit more jarring. There's a few more potent notes. The roastiness is much more dominant. It's maybe not as sweet. It's a bit, well, frankly, it's like no nonsense dry stout, which is exactly what it is. But it is quintessentially Guinness, and yeah, I could definitely drink a pint or two of it. But now, I fear it may not fare well in comparison to the NitroSurge. So let's try this one again, shall we? Cheers. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's my aversion to carbonation in dark beer. But the conditioning, the mouthfeel, the experience, the physical element of that draft is just sublime. It really is. It's on another level. It's really weird this, because these feel like two completely unrelated beers in almost every way. And then you get to the aftertaste, and they're almost the same. Almost. The original has just heaps and heaps of extra flavour. As I say, it's a bit roastier, it's a bit more bitter. It's amped up in the flavour department, but then let down in the physical aspects. Whereas the reverse really is true for the NitroSurge. The physical aspects are phenomenal. Big, smooth, creamy, just a joy to experience on a kind of sensory level. But the flavour, if we can say something being too easy to drink is a bad thing, then yeah, then maybe that is its downfall. But is that really a bad thing? I mean, proper, stout aficionados, and I am one of those people, sorry, would say that this maybe is a bit tame. And it is, but at the same time, Guinness Original maybe isn't quite interesting enough to cut it in the modern day stout scene, whereas, well, frankly, Draft Guinness doesn't really have a competitor. Okay, we can talk about Anspach and Hobday and the new Brewdog beer and all that sort of stuff, and there's some theoretical competition emerging, but that's only been in the last few weeks and months. This, in general, doesn't have a rival, and as a result, given the choice, I'm going to go and have something probably from a little small craft brewer with some interesting flavour notes to it. But should I be in a position where I've only got to choose a Guinness? It is that one, I'm afraid. The original is just, well, it's a fantastic insight, to be honest, into Guinness's origins, into history, into what beer kind of used to be like. There are lots of examples still around of what beer was like 20, 30, 40 years ago and beyond. I mean, established in 1759, I'm seeing on the label there. So, it's an old beer. How true this is to the original one from the 1700s, who knows? But, yeah, it's a difficult one. I would, though, recommend anyone that is a Guinness fan to go away and kind of do this experiment. Doesn't matter whether it's with, a NitroSurge can, whether it's with a regular draft can, whether it's a pint from the pub and a can of Guinness Original, if you can get both in the same place, because this is quite eye-opening as to how we got to this point, something so unique, and I think it will answer questions for a lot of people who are out there who like Guinness but don't necessarily like a lot of other dark beer, as to what it is that they really get out of that Guinness experience that's so different, because this is much more, and this being the original, is much more akin to a dark beer from any brewery, to be fair. Yes, it does taste like Guinness, but in a blind taste test with a load of other stouts, would I have said, I think that one's Guinness? If I didn't know there was a Guinness in there, I'm not sure I would. It's there are some hallmark flavours, but they're not entirely unique to Guinness. However, in a blind lineup of a variety of dark beers, there is absolutely no way that you're going to mistake that sensation for anything else, which is why it is the de facto Guinness today, I think. And on the subject of blind taste tests, I think it's time we did one with all of the Guinness varieties. So that will be a video coming very soon, so please be subscribed to make sure you see that one. But for now, that is everything. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't already, subscribe if you will be so kind, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.